Welcome to the Diamond Spotlight interview. I am Barbara Beckley, the founder of the Diamond Factor LLC, where my mission is to help empower people, especially women, to understand their PPD, their purpose, passion, and drive. And this platform is to make sure to increase their visibility, to shine like a diamond in the world. Today we have an awesome, I always call the ladies a queen diamond, and we have another awesome one. Her name is Mary Knight, and she's a retired from social work to becoming a filmmaker. Each film she makes has a message she feels compelled to share. Her professional accreditations include not only filmmaking, but also social work. Mary has her master's degree in social work and 23 years of clinical experience. So with that, hi Mary, and welcome to the Diamond Spotlight Show. I am so glad that we have come together today because I've been excited to have you on.
I've been excited.
Yes. So how's your day today before we get into getting to know you a little bit better?
It is early here. I'm on West Coast time, so I think
Oh,
it's 7 o'clock here.
it's 7 o'clock. It's funny because usually with the time zones, I'm always when I schedule interviews, I'm always the one that's earlier. But this time it's weird that, usually I get some for people that are, a little earlier. I'm like, oh, 6:30 for them. I'm like, oh my God, it is early for them. So thank you so much for, just giving the time to being up this early to do the interview. So I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Thank you, Barbara.
So let's just get right into it because I really want the viewers to get to know you more because you just have some very exciting information about who you are and what you do. So I always tell people I do a little research of the Diamond Queens, and I did look around your website, and I found something where you stated a quote that you had, which was very interesting. It said, each film I make has a message I feel compelled to tell. Can you share your inspiration on how you came about this quote and how it resonates with you?
Filmmaking is a really time-intensive and expensive endeavor, and so it's a commitment to make each film. I have told my husband numerous times, this is my last film. And he's always like, yeah, I've heard that before. But sometimes it's just something that's so important for me to share with another person. And usually it's films that have to do with my childhood, with my life, with ways I've healed. Sometimes it's has to do with another person's healing. I feel so fortunate to have such a good life now. And I like to let other people know how that came about so they can too.
And so by doing that to help compel other people's stories, that's really helping them in a lot of ways. So I really, I admire you for doing that and taking that on. So it's a good inspiration for not just, for other people to make sure they feel comfortable in sharing their stories. And I know a lot of times people get a little bit nervous about, videos and cameras and everything, but, with you, just meeting you and seeing the sincerity, and you're just such a golden heart that I feel like you calm them down. You make them feel more, like, okay, this is okay. And you're going to be good. So now, just to get a little bit deeper, now, one of your own stories in your life is that you are a survivor of child trauma that involves sex trafficking, and you went public with your story. Can you give us your steps on how you dealt with the trauma, and would you give others, and how would you give others to deal with that type of pain?
Okay, and I'm going to go to share screen now and show a little of my website. And on it, I have a whole page how I healed, because I think each person has their own recipe for healing, for recovery. One message I want to come across real strongly with is recovery is possible. The other thing I'd say is recovery is not easy. So there were many things I did, all the way from psychotherapy to healthy eating, acupuncture. I do take medication. I still take antidepressants, and I probably always will. That was really humbling to realize I needed that, but I do. I did, and I still do. And one thing I did was I think of recovery as a part-time job. It used to consume more of my life than it does now, but I do yoga every day, and that's something I need to do. And if I didn't, I used to have chronic pain. I used to have fibromyalgia, and I still would if I didn't do yoga on an almost daily basis and other forms of relaxation. So my recipe for recovery is fairly complicated, and that's why I devoted a page of my website to it. That said, I encourage each person to find their own way to recover.
Wow. Yeah, it's I'm glad you told us the steps, because I know there's a lot of people, and it's sad to say that a lot of children and adults have went through or dealing with that trauma, like, sex trafficking and just abusive.
Yes.
So, to just to start off, I mean, I commend you so much, because, a lot of people might take a different route. And you took the route of, okay, I went through this, I have to deal with this, and you took the steps to move forward, which some people, they don't know what kind of steps to take. They
No.
don't, and that's the hurting part.
And one thing I like to point out, because I am willing to have a one-time telephone conversation with a survivor. So if you're listening to this, you're a survivor, you want some help from me, I'm glad to talk to you. You can get a hold of me through my email, and then my email is on my website, and I know Barbara's got it too. And then we can set up a time to talk. But a survivor who talked to me recently was like, she kind of wanted this magic answer, and I finally just had to say, I don't have like a, anything that's going to just be a miracle cure. It's just, you're working at it. You've been working at it. You need to keep working at it. And I point out that my hair is gray. I have a wonderful life now, but it's taken me a while to get here. And the work you do now is going to lead you to the place where you can feel really comfortable and really happy. But if you were abused as a child, it's a long road, and don't put yourself down because you're not at peace now, because it takes time and energy, and usually, a professional help, other helpers. I still am in physical therapy. A type of physical therapy is pelvic floor physical therapy, and I use that type of physical therapy, and it's helpful to me. I do a lot of things still to heal. And some of them now, a lot of my things I do to heal are really fun, like read novels.
Oh, yeah. So there is some, like you said, some good things to do to help you with that healing, that also you probably found enjoyable now.
Oh,
And
absolutely. Absolutely. And really, to heal, you need to have fun. There's no way to quit being depressed without having fun. So that's an important part of what you do. Yeah. And also just kind of acting like a kid, just drawing, finger painting, doing things that you did when you were little, or that you would have done if you were little, when you were little, if you hadn't been being abused so much, you didn't, have time and energy for. So you become kind of your own parent, and it can be fun.
Mm. So my next question for you, Mary, is, with the individuals now facing many challenges at this time with the, pandemic and the economy and some injustice that's going on, it's like everything's kind of wrapped up right now that we're all dealing with. And as a filmmaker, I know your mission is to help people express their own stories in their life. Why do you feel it's important for individuals to be so compelled to share their moments, especially on film, and maybe what's going on right now in the world?
Oh, I think it's important to share your story. And I personally, I mostly share my own story because filmmaking is so expensive. I'm not able to help other people share their stories that much that way. But there's so many ways to share your story. And for some people that's writing, for some people that's talking. Just like if someone wants to call me and share their story with me personally, the act of telling about the abuse heals society. I really believe the act of telling about the abuse heals society, because then you yourself, as you're telling it, become more healed, but the person you're talking to becomes more educated about it. And people want to think they're going to be able to help all these abused children. If an abused child says something, I believe in and I'd help him. But if you don't listen to adult survivors, you don't know enough to help children. If a child's the first one who tells you some really horrible and bizarre thing, you're going to have trouble believing it. So that's one reason I tell about the atrocities I experienced. And I'm a survivor of extreme childhood abuse, including ritualistic abuse and including incest by both parents. So this is very dark, what I'm talking, very, very tragic, what I'm talking about. But if someone doesn't talk about it, then, so I like the fact that I can talk about it, people can come to me. One thing I want to make really clear is I am not saying that everyone should go public about their abuse. I didn't go public until I was old. And I worked as a clinical social worker before that. I was court appointed to do divorce custody evaluations. Well, if I'd been public about it, then I could have been questioned about it on the witness stand. And I've been on the witness stand over 100 times. And it could have been damaging to my client, because they might have said that I was biased because of my own childhood, which should never happen. But anyway, in the courtroom, that can. And I wanted to serve my client the best I could. And also I had children, and I waited until my children were adult to go public. So I don't want anyone watching this and saying, oh, she's going public, I should too. No, you need to wait until the right time for you. And there's so many ways you can help other people without being public. One thing I currently do is I'm a foster mom. I'm a respite foster mom. So a respite foster mom means that the children come to me when foster parents get 2 nights off a month. Usually they take it on the weekend, and the foster child comes and stays with me and my husband during that weekend. We're actually getting 11-year-old foster child is coming to see us in a couple of hours. And he's going to spend 3 nights while his mom is taking a little alone time camping trip. And then some people think, well, that's not very nice of her. But in fact, everyone needs alone time, and she's going to take him on a camping trip later. So he's going to get his vacation as well, but he considers it a vacation to come here. So we're going to have a good time with him.
That's so awesome, Mary. I mean, to like you said, to make that time for, first of all, like you said, everybody needs a break sometime.
Oh yeah.
And for you just to take, you and your husband just to take on, having the child come in and just really getting to know you, and just, getting away for a while, and then but still being that person in their lives to help them. Because, as even being a foster mom, or or just a real mom, basically, as because you're a mother too, that anything positive that can go in a child really helps them to grow, and to see different things. So I commend you and your husband for that, to taking that time out in your life.
Yeah, there's so many ways to help kids, and that's really, I'm a child advocate. I just think that every child deserves a good childhood. And if you didn't have one when you were a child, give yourself one now. Yeah.
It's never too late, huh? It's never too late to have that fun.
Never too late to have a happy childhood, right?
Yes. So now I know you have a personal documentary called I Am Crazy that you shared to bring awareness about all the trauma that you suffered and was able to move forward. Can you give us just a quick overview about the documentary and why you decided to share this work with the world?
Yes. Okay. So it's Am I Crazy? My Journey to Determine If My Memories Are True. And I remembered my abuse at age 37. Some people discount my memories because I was an adult when I had them, and they think memory should always be continuous to be true. But traumatic memory doesn't work that way. I was able to interview Dr. Bezel Vanderkook. He wrote The Body Keeps the Score, and he's a neuroscientist, and he explains in the film, and he explains how traumatic memory works. But the other people I interviewed, I sat across from people who do not believe memories like mine are true. And I let them ask any question they wanted. And that process of being just open to that questioning was really good for me. I'm glad it's over. But the result was this film, and I'll show you where that is on my website.
Okay.
So at the home page, you can just scroll down slightly and you see the trailer for that film. You can watch that, and I want to give everyone who listens to this the promo code for a free rental of the film. And the promo code is Survivor with a capital S, the word Survivor with a capital S. And then you can go in and you would go to this part, and then on my screen it's going to show that I've already bought it. But after you go to saying you want to rent it, then there'll be a space for promo code, and you put in Survivor with a capital S. So I will give a warning, though, that that's a very dark film, a very sad film. So don't watch it unless you're in a good place to do so at the time.
At the time. So you basically, I mean, I just have to commend you over and over again, Mary, for, like you said, being open. And I'm glad that you did state it, because everybody is going to have their own time when they want to, basically share.
Right.
And it's very important that, they have to share their timing, because, we it's different between, you could probably share now where somebody else might have to wait, or somebody feel like maybe they can do it earlier. So I'm glad that you did emphasize that, because a lot of times when, we say, oh, just share this, do this, and they're like, okay, I don't really feel like it, but they told me to do it. And then when they do it, sometimes it makes it worse because they weren't ready.
Oh,
So
exactly.
I'm so glad that, yeah.
Well,
Go
we
ahead, I'm
each
sorry.
have our life purpose, and some people, their life purpose is not to share their views. They never share it, and that's fine. I think that's fine. There's all sorts of ways to help each other, and if you're a survivor listening to this, don't feel like you ever have to share it publicly. You need to share it with someone, and really, if you're not comfortable sharing it with the people in your own circle, feel free to make use of that free phone call with me and share it with me, because it is important to share it with someone. But you have to be wise in how you do that, because it's really all about you. It's not, no one should feel pressure to share.
Yeah. And thank you again. And I'll make sure with this interview that people will have your contact information if they
Good.
do want to connect with you and talk a little bit more. Because sometimes, it's some, like you said, it depends. Sometimes it's easier. I know when I had to share some things in my life that I dealt with, for some odd reason, it was easier to talk to maybe a stranger more so than
Yeah.
family at the time.
Yeah.
Some people ask me, well, Barbara, you've been, I said, well, I think that was the reason why I didn't feel comfortable at the time, is because I needed to talk to somebody that didn't really have anything with me, connected to me. I
Yeah,
just
in your
needed
own world,
somewhere.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's awesome that, you are open to having people call you and talk to you about, what they're dealing with. So I ask everybody out there, if you do feel like you have to, tell your story to somebody, Mary, believe me, Mary is an awesome lady, and she will understand, and she will be there and have your back. I mean, and that's what That's what she's there for, just to really, give comfort, give some
Right.
insight, and just be there. So
Yeah,
now,
I just
before we
feel,
wrap this awesome conversation, oh, go ahead.
yeah,
Let me finish.
and not, don't, I'm not, it's better to contact me just because you want some support. I'm not really able to share other people's stories on film. So, so don't get that confused either. And so we're wrapping up. Can I share a couple more things I just wanted to get to?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, was there any last thoughts that you want to give the audience to share with?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to my website, and I want to tell you that not all my films are of that subject matter, and
Okay.
that I I'm having trouble finding. Oh, there. Okay, so I did do make a film that's a comedy, PG-13 comedy, Sister Mary's Angel, and this is my fun movie. And if you contact me, I can give you a promo code for it too, if you want to see it as well. But it's one that's it's a romantic comedy. It's fun. Identical twin sisters, a nun and a lingerie model. The lingerie model has urgent need for medical treatment, no insurance, no savings, so she trades places and poses as her sister, the nun, so she can get medical treatment. It's pre-Obamacare. And
Wow.
also, I would like to mention, if it's okay, Barbara, my essay that I
Oh, sure.
just wrote, which is very about something very sad. And just the title of it is My Parents Were KKK Members and Pedophiles. So it's available on my website under essays. I do not recommend you read that unless I just put an extreme trigger warning on it.
Wow.
And here is my contact information on my website too, but I know Barbara is going to get it to you as well.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure everybody gets all
Thank
your
you.
information so they can contact you and look at your stories, and just you being so open and being an awesome filmmaker, to put that out. So again, I always tell the diamonds out there, the audience out there, is that, I show these diamonds on the show because I want you to see, that you can move forward in whatever you're doing in your life, wherever
Oh,
you're
yeah.
stage in, that you see these diamonds shining, you see what they do, you see the commitment and the work that they put in, and it all comes out in a positive way. I mean, things happen in our lives, as you see. There's some dark stuff that I know Mary's talking about, but I'm glad that she had the courage. And Mary, I just want to let you know that I'm talking to you too, that you had the courage to just come out and do it, because I know it was hard. I mean, it's not easy to talk about, what you went through, and then, with your parents and a lot of, things. I know there's a lot of other stories there, but it's not easy to do that. And a lot of times, you have to look at not just when you're telling your story, you might have other family members or friends that you got to kind of deal with too. So with taking all that encouragement to go out there and say, I applaud you for that. And the audience, especially ones that connect with you with that, I know that's going to be a life-saving matter, because, some people feel like they're alone when they're going through something, and you're showing us that, what, you're not alone. I mean, it might have been this in a different, aspect, but same concept. So thank you so much for, having people that they can come to and say, well, boy, I didn't know. Thank you, Mary, for letting me know this, because I went through this, and this, in my life.
Thank you so much for letting me be on your show. I'm so impressed with you. So thank you.
Thank you. So now, is there any, I know you showed a little bit more on your website, but is there anything that I always ask our guests, what thing that you want to leave, maybe some little wisdom or maybe a golden nugget? Do you want to leave anything before we close?
Recovery is possible. If you're watching this and you're a little discouraged today, recovery is possible. You can have a wonderful life.
Awesome, awesome. So we will make sure that, like I said, we'll make sure that Mary's contact information is part of this interview, and also when we display it, and she'll be able to catch her and talk to her if you need to. It's been a great pleasure having this conversation, just learning about other Queen Diamonds. Thank you again, Mary, for just being so awesome as you are and amazing, and for being on the Diamond Show. And as I tell everybody, always remember that you have a special gift in you, no matter who you are and what you do. You have that special gift. What I call is the diamond factor. It's your purpose, passion, and drive. And remember that it's not only for you to grow into what you want to do, but just a caveat, just a little, I always say cherry on the top. It helps others understand what your gifts are, because your gifts can help other people, just like how Mary and how she's helping with her telling her stories. She's helping others, she's saving lives, and that's what your gifts can do as well.